of Kittens and Broken Things, Chapter 63. When Garrus told Kara about Russ's idea, her jaw dropped.
See, that's why I told you privately. Russ is a smart guy. You shouldn't look surprised.
Yeah, don't tell him about that part.
I didn't do much better. I told him I wanted to kiss him.
Can I want to kiss him too?
Yeah, but don't. The guy's got dignity we don't have.
Tally was fast to business. Sooth present, Shepard present. Garrus, Senar, and Russ were going over Project Trash Mob in engineering. Tally, as always, adapted to weird quickly. The consensus was that they needed more Geth. Sooth could arrange for consensus Geth to arrive if Shepard could arrange for them to not be shot in the process. The issue was that they needed Reaper Geth badly in order to test anything, and they needed the exact and current setup of corrupted Geth nodes for testing. Tally said, "It is possible that Admiral Darosen would be able to help with that." The caution in Tally's voice made Kara very nervous. "Help how?" Her methods are..." Sooth held very still. Kara asked, "Can she be trusted?" "No, not about this. Sooth, she would see you as a thing. Shepard, she would want to take Sooth and dissect everything about her. I'm only suggesting it because so far we have no other options." "I would do this if it would aid the mission." "No, people like this..." "Sooth, you are too valuable. I trust Tally. I trust that if Tally says we cannot trust the Admiral, then we cannot trust the Admiral. But it may aid the mission. If the Geth are being converted to Reapers, it would be Admiral Darosen that would know. Shepard Commander's job is to put herself in danger for the mission. Shepard Commander has died in that endeavor. Not something I wish to repeat or delegate. For now, I want you both to try to come up with alternatives. Sooth, please let Tally know what you told me about Geth movements and installations. On the understanding, Tally, that this is confidential and the understanding that Geth, in their current state when they are not indoctrinated, are peaceful until attacked. And if that is not the case and you are mistaken, I do not warn my people and we are attacked. Tally, Krogan want to kill Turians. Turians want to kill Krogan. Solarians want to subjugate everyone, and I want to keep Solarians alive. Hanar are subjugating Drell, and I want to keep Hanar and Drell alive. Everyone has reasons to hate, to mistrust, to make the first unilateral, preemptive, and definitive move to protect their people, avenge their losses, or both. It is very real in theory that if the three of us cannot work together, none of this will work. We have to find a way to find common ground against Reapers, even if that common ground encompasses only a square inch, and the reasons to disagree seem infinite in acreage. If you can't commit to that, I do understand, and I won't burden you further with information you feel you must disclose. We have to find the places we can agree, expand on that, and then use everything we've got toward the aim of opposing Reapers. And yes, that does mean that our lives or our people's lives are all at risk, either tactically based on our decisions or inevitably if we fail to act correctly." Kara turned to Sooth. "I need you to understand that you are not expendable." Tally added, "Sooth, my people have been at war with your people for hundreds of years. Your people occupy our homeworld. I trust Shepard enough to speak to you, to try to understand. The other admirals, my people, they would not. Most of them would shoot you on sight. Admiral Darosan would experiment on you, keep you captive, without remorse. She believes we are your rightful owners. She would use any information she gained from you to kill or subjugate more of your people, not help oppose Reapers. If she's studying Reaper technology, it is with the aim of subverting it, so she is in control. Shepard has had to make many difficult calls in the past. There was a point where Rex could have had an answer to his genophage, and Shepard destroyed it. The genophage is being cured now. Yes, but Rex did not know that would happen. On the same mission, Ashley Williams gave her life. So I understand that Shepard has been in the position, will be in the position, of siding with or aiding one side in a war, sacrificing individuals and sacrificing species. Where possible, she lets them live. It may not always be possible. Here you and I are agreeing to contribute to a war that may not let us keep our lives or those of our people. Shepard Commander would not destroy the Geth. She may not have a choice. Sooth was silent. Kara said, "If we don't get this right, everyone dies or becomes slaves. We need to know what you know, Sooth, but we can't let more than one Quarian know. We need to know what Quarians know, but we can't tell more than one Geth, regardless of what Admiral Darosen knows. We can't take that path. I will be honest with both of you because I trust you both. I can't extend that to other people who are incapable of trust or whose trust will be trumped by temptation. If I know the room's full of accelerant, I can't light a match to see. It's suicide. We find another way." Tally, is it possible to hack into Admiral Darosen's files? Know what she knows without her knowing that we know? So you're asking me to commit treason? Yep. Sort of like when I stole a ship that didn't belong to me. This ship's mine now. If you get into any trouble, you can stay here. I'll even call you Admiral. You're a very bad influence, Shepard. Kara leaned up and kissed the side of Tally's mask. Always have been. Thank you. Deployment of the probes was fast. Collector ships used to create scattered fields in the smaller and then the largest Geth void in space from multiple directions in order to run surveillance on the outer nodes that created the void and also to pass near but not too near the central space where production was theoretically centered. They identified a few more vulnerable nodes that might work in each location if they moved quickly and were sure they had the right code for a reversal. The centers of most of the voids did appear as though they were production sites, creating hundreds of thousands of Geth in rapid turnover. The pass through the largest void created scattered and blurry images of... Kara squinted. What is that? It looks like a snowball in flight?
A snowball? Is that a replica of the...
Russ said. Citadel. Senar clarified. An incomplete replica of the Citadel, still under construction. That's what it looked like. Scaffolding of a Citadel replica extending from where it connected to the huge... What was it? Construction was focused on extension of the faux Citadel arms. Kara said, with its snow... She stopped talking as rapid flashes, images, and emotions unspooled from her memory and began to play insistently. She recognized the feel of it immediately. She formed the thin conviction that this was information unlocked from the Prothean beacon. Then she seemed to be mostly gone, lost to the experience of a forceful replay of images. This new shape, spherical, with this image was embedded within the Prothean beacon. This was in her head. She clamped her eyes shut, overloaded and now reeling with pain, until she gripped the edge of the desk and fell slightly against Garrus, who supported her and said,
"What is it?"
She opened her mouth, but no sound came out, unable to form words as the internal force of Prothean information with new context, more images, more significance she did not understand, but which pressed its way deep into her brain, glowed and vibrated suddenly with her own added internal synesthesia. Something mental and physical gave way simultaneously. She felt blood from her ear, from her nose, and a scream in her throat. Then she was entirely gone to the experience of the continuum of cumulative screams and imperatives of Prothean voices and commands, urgings, and desperation overwhelmed her, and she was no longer aware of anything else, could not interrupt the torrential flood of too much information at once. She needed to hear, needed to know, needed to continue looking until she understood, voices crowding in on her and demanding her attention.
Garrus picked Kara up as she canted and then fell over, blood in a gush from her nose and ear, her eyes rolled back and her face a grayish pallor. He ignored everyone, ignored the screen, ignored the people, rushed to the medbay with Sonar and Russ managing to make it onto the lift with him silently, both men calm in a crisis. Thank the spirits. This was definitely a crisis. Garrus rushed her to Dr. Chakwas, who was able to stop the bleeding and keep her from breaking her own bones from the force of the snapping tension that invested her spine and muscles. Her screams stopped. What is it? She saw what the Geth were building, and this.
I have seen the commander in this state once before. This is more severe in presentation, but it has the same symptoms. This is what happened to her when she encountered the Prothean beacon.
Garrus clenched his jaw. Is she going to be okay?
She was before. It took several days previously. I can alleviate the physical stress.
Sonar was looking at the medical equipment and seemed to garner more from it than Garrus did.
And the emotional and mental stress? That is the problem. Something is happening to her mind. Something I cannot seem to stop.
Liara. Liara helped her before with the beacon.
Get her here. As soon as possible. And if Liara is similarly affected? I don't know. If her mind is in chaos and Liara...
We'll tell her. She decides.
She'll never decide to not wade into chaos for Shepard.
Garrus activated his Omnitool, contacted Liara, and said, "We've got a problem. Shepard just saw something that sent her into a Prothean beacon flashback, and she's down the way she was the first time. But this time Dr. Chakwas can't stop whatever is happening. You're the only person that's been in her head and dealt with the beacon with her. Can you please get to the Normandy? We'll meet you halfway. Need you to put her mind back together. We don't know if you can do it. She's..." Garrus turned the camera toward Kara and said, "She's in bad shape. None of us know what you're in for. We can wait and see what happens otherwise, if it's too much."
I'll be right there. I'll coordinate with Edie.
Can I show you the image that triggered this?
Yes. Let me see. Is that something attached to the Citadel? No, wait. Wrong. What is that?
We don't know. Under Geth construction. It does look like the Citadel. Does it do something to your brain?
No, nothing. I don't know what that is at all.
Okay. I have no idea if that's good or bad news. It's good that you're still standing at least. Hurry.
On my way. Liara was rushed to the medbay. Travel time, 18 hours. Garrus at Kara's bedside. Russ and Senar now ranged around the room, haggard. She had tried to concentrate on the way here, tried to determine what that craft might mean, but her foray into Kara's mind had been directed. She had no real idea what was in that labyrinth. She'd been escorted to a few images from Kara's memory and had been able to create context. It was a bit like being taken to a room in a house and then ushered out. All other doors closed. Kara was so small, particularly so, surrounded by men who seemed to be hoping their vigilance would aid with her recovery. All three, just as Liara was, wishing they could take her place or kill something that would fix this. Fix her. No progress had been made for Kara so far. Dr. Shakwas was unable to stop the cascading race of whatever was going on in Kara's mind. The next step would be to place her in a coma, but if they did that, Liara would have no chance of helping her navigate. Liara had travel time and the discipline to know she could not stay awake for the 18 hours of travel, or she would be exhausted herself by the time she arrived. None of the people in this room had that luxury. Nobody here had left for the last 18 hours. Liara looked much more assured and confident than she was. Kara would appreciate the irony. Everything that needed to be said had been said in transit. Garrus vacated the space beside Kara's bed, and Liara moved in next to her, refusing to acknowledge the hard ball of fear that made her dizzy. Kara would appreciate that irony, too. She placed cool and not visibly trembling fingertips on Kara's hair, and was greeted by screams. Screams from seemingly trillions of throats, images moving too fast, nauseating in perspective as she seemed to be seeing from uncounted sets of 4 eyes, feeling from trillions urging and driving. She broke away, stumbled to a sink, and threw up. Everyone was staring at her, but she did not say a word, clamped her eyes shut, opened them, and walked on, not visibly trembling legs, back to Kara's bedside and put her fingers lightly, again, on her hair. Discipline was taught to Asari, of course. She needed to thread the labyrinth, find where Kara was in the trillions of screaming throats, realizing she was likely screaming herself and could not be found in silence. She began a careful chant of Kara's name, answered by more articulated screams of death, warning, horror, vengeance, pain. Kara, I must speak to her. I know you must be heard. She will hear. She cannot hear all at once. You must be silent so she can hear me. Rejection of any message other than their own being of value. Rise in screams and edged hostility directed at Liara herself. Kara, you know where she is. I must find her. She is ours. She is theirs. Kara, she is hers. She is mine. She has to know. Kara, she will know. Not all at once. She must know. Kara, she will know. She can do nothing if all she is doing is listening. She has spent a day near death, incapable of action. You will kill her. She will die anyway, just as we did. Kara, the voices that know what it is that made her this way should speak. Together, in one message, the screams must end. We are all dead. Kara, but we are not. There was an incoherent babble of refusal. Liara continued her disciplined chant. Kara, if you wish to be heard, You must not destroy the listener. She will be destroyed. Kara. Liara? Kara. Yes. You must stop hearing. Liara. They're all dead. There's something they built. Kara. They are all dead. You are not, but you will be unless you leave with me. Leave my own mind? Kara, leave the occupied place of screams. Do you know what they are saying? Can you bring their message with you? Not without the screams. Kara, I cannot navigate here. You must help me. Now you must wake up. It's only been a few seconds. Kara, your mind is impaired. It has been nearly 20 hours. You will die if you do not stop. Your brain cannot keep this up. I have to. I need to understand. Kara, come with me. I almost have it. Kara, you're almost dead. We need you. They need me. Kara, we all need you. Awake, alive, with the information. I can help, but you must shut out the screams. Isn't that what's wrong with the galaxy? Shutting out everyone's screams, not hearing them, ignoring them? Kara, you need to rest. If you remain trapped here, hearing every scream of the dead and damned, those of us who are still alive will be damned and dead. We need you. Kara projected a wave of hesitation, grief, despair, the power of grief that would not move to acceptance. Kara, it is against your nature to ignore pain, but you must. This is the playback of the Prothean beacon. I can help you find the information you need. There was Geth construction. That is what started this. Focus on that. Snowball. Kara, you need to find out what it is. I don't know. Too much screaming. Kara, come with me. Yes. The screams rose to higher pitch. Kara's scream, and with it, Liara dragged her fingers away from Kara. Acid etched pain along her nerves in her head, dizzy, and now unable to hide the trembling. The scream became real, Kara's throat sounding as though she'd continue until blood came with the sound. Liara swaying until Senar moved close enough to support her, to offer her a chair, which she slumped into, closing her eyes and hoping she would not throw up again. She couldn't make it to the sink this time. She heard Kara's scream, and Liara opened her eyes, bleary and blurry, saw Kara sit up and look wildly around the room, the screams crawling through her eyes, threading her voice as she said, "It has, will, could, is going to kill all of us." Kara's eyes blazed in manic anger. "Set course for Ilos." Nobody moved. Dr. Chakwas said into the dreaded silence, "Commander, I don't think—" Kara's eyes slewed to the doctor. Kara looked ready to murder. "I gave an order. Edie, set course for Ilos. Now. Anybody tries to stop you, tell me who they are and I'll kill them myself."